Good afternoon, everyone. Chief Meteorologist James Zahara here in the Storm Track 8 Weather Center. Glad you can join us on the News 8 Plus app. And the reason why we're giving you this special session here is because they do have the possibility of seeing some severe weather going into around tomorrow evening. That's tomorrow evening. So what we're here is to just give you a little update. And of course, we'll continue to update this situation as we make our way into tonight around 8 p.m. I'll be doing another discussion then. And then come tomorrow, we'll have a couple more discussions, several more, in fact, coming up at 9 o'clock tomorrow with Andrew Stuskey and Peter Warner. And then I'll be doing another two coming in on 2:30 tomorrow and 8 p.m. as well. So what we are looking at, what we are going to be tracking is that cold front located to our north and west, already spewing out a few showers and thunderstorms along it. And that is the wave that does have a good potential of producing at least a 2 out of 5 risk of seeing some hail, some isolated wind gusts. And you can see anywhere within that red shaded area is where we expect that potential to be taking place. So that is why we have this weather impact alert heading later into tomorrow. Right now, the time I think is, I'm not too confident right now of the timing at this point. 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., it could go maybe shift a little bit later. That's something we still have to tweak, I would say, later tonight and going into tomorrow morning. But as far as the coverage of this potential for severe weather, right now, it still appears to be isolated with an intense wind gust, maybe some small hail. So what you need to make sure is to have the way of receiving those warnings. And more importantly, want to make sure that you download the Storm Track 8 app. That's where you can be interactive with the radar itself, keeping you up to speed of what's going on. And more importantly, where you're on right now, if no one's on it, make sure they get on it. We're talking about the 8 Plus app that we're on right now. Of course, in these are situations, this is where we can be a little bit more detailed as to what we could potentially see as we head later on tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and make our way into our future track. And this gets a tendency, it's our house model, and it kind of helps time out these two waves that will be coming in. The first wave comes in tomorrow morning, the second one, as we just mentioned, by the evening hours or so. Now we see this first wave coming in around southeastern Iowa. This could have some showers, a few embedded thunderstorms with it, but I'm really not too worried about this wave. What we're going to keep an eye on is once that wave moves its way off to the north and east, by around mid or late morning, everything begins to quiet down and we just have some leftover cloud cover. Of course, that does bring into the possibility of what type of level of instability we're going to be dealing with before that second wave comes in. Now, as we get to about maybe 2:30 or 3 o'clock, there could be a couple of waves that may come, or a couple of isolated storms or showers that may get ahead of the main boundary itself. And then as we get to about 5:30, you can see how those storms begin to start firing up areas north and west of the Quad Cities, from Dubuque to just north of around Iowa City or so. Now, what happens to that line as it gets even closer to the river itself? Well, right now it's showing, at least when it comes to our house model, that we start seeing this broken line of thunderstorms make its way across the river before midnight. And then after midnight, that line really begins to fade, okay? So that is coming from our house model. One of the things I like to look at as far as seeing the concentration of maybe thunderstorm activity is I kind of like to go to, and I'm going to pop it up here in a second, okay? This is coming from the European model. It gives us kind of what we call a density of where the lightning is going to be taking place. And the time of this shows 15Z. Now, 15Z actually is about 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And I can see where that makes a little sense as far as seeing some showers, a few embedded thunderstorms in southeastern Iowa, west central Illinois, and into northeastern Missouri itself. Okay, so that's when we have that chance for that first wave to produce some showers and thunderstorms, but I'm not really too worried about that wave producing severe weather. This is a wave we'll have to keep an eye on. And once again, the timing is just a little bit off. Hopefully we can fine tune this as we're just 24 hours away from this. It's showing 0Z. This is 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. Once again, this is kind of showing the density of the lightning. And anytime we kind of see that lineup, you can see, and I'll get an arrow on this here real quick. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, right here at this line here, obviously it's well defined. So that is likely where we could be seeing these storms begin to fire up just ahead of the cold front, which would be just off to our north and west. So that's the line that we're going to be keeping an eye on as we head in toward tomorrow evening, where within that line, I want to stress that again, within this line, there could be an isolated wind gust, okay, or even some hail to go with it as well, okay? So that's kind of what we're looking at when it comes to this line of storms. And this could be a sign of maybe some more storms as we head into tomorrow. I want to see if I can pop, I'm not sure if my 8-day outlook has been updated yet. It has not been updated yet. My apologies on that, because it shows the weather impact alert. We've been having some graphic situations ever since early this morning, so I want to apologize for that. So why don't you bring the camera right back to me. I'm going to bring up the weather impact alert, the when, the impact, and the need. That's kind of what we really want to focus on. So my point was, as I was going to the 8-day, is that after this wave moves on through, the last of the raindrops should be ending sometime before, I would say, before dawn on Wednesday morning. Let's not forget the rainfall that we could get out of this. The models are a little different. I'm seeing as low as a quarter of an inch of rain, but I've been seeing that in some spots we could be getting about maybe 1.25 inches of rain, which would be very beneficial given the warmth and some of the lack of humidity that we've been seeing, indicating how dry it's been. So it will be nice to get a good drenching in some of our hometowns from this wave. Should be pretty quiet going into the rest of our Wednesday. Even Thursday looking pretty dry as well for your outdoor plans. And then we'll see by Thursday night going into Friday, some scatter showers rolling in. I don't see any thunderstorms with that activity, but scatter showers nonetheless. And with this wave coming on through, it's going to help to really cool off those numbers before we get to that weekend. And the weekend right now still looks nice and dry with temperatures expected right around 80 degrees. We are going to fine tune this, especially when it comes to the time itself, and certainly in the coverage that we're looking at. But once again, it's a situation where we're dealing with two waves, one coming in the morning, I would say around 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning or so, for areas especially in southeastern Iowa, and then that's that second wave that we're anticipating to be the stronger of the two, better coverage of the two as well. Between 5 a.m. and 10, that may shift a little bit more later in the day. That's the thing that we're very uncertain about. But we're here to give you a heads up of what we could be anticipating with that wave heading into about tomorrow evening. I will be giving another update, and hopefully my graphics will be all updated as well, coming up at 8 o'clock this evening on our News 8 Plus app. And once again, we'll continue to give these severe weather discussions, at least 3 that we have scheduled, heading into tomorrow as well. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you on The Current coming up at 4 o'clock. We'll see you then.
Continue with us and watch free now on the 8 Plus app everywhere you stream.